Wealth does not begin with a change in the numbers in your bank account. It begins with a change in your tolerance for life. You suddenly realize that many things you used to accept now feel hard to swallow. Busyness without purpose, mindless consumption, giving your time to meaningless screens, wasting your attention on noise created by others. These things start to make you uncomfortable. This discomfort is not it is not anxiety. It is not you becoming picky. It is more like an awakening. A person truly changes their destiny not because they suddenly gained something. It is because they finally could not stand their old self anymore. Wealth is not something that falls on your head from outside. It first grows out of your standards. You start to become allergic to mediocrity. You become sensitive to waste. You begin to realize that freedom does not come from fantasy. It comes from making a few right choices every single day and letting them accumulate. I am Zen Seeker Wu. Today I want to talk with you about this topic of wealth and change. If you feel the following content resonates with you, please hit like and subscribe. This is a reminder to yourself that you truly do not want to live in a daze anymore. You can also share this with someone who is working hard to change. Often people do not lack methods. They lack a voice that happens to wake them up in the dark. The first signal that a person is starting to become wealthy is this. He no longer envies the excitement. He begins to crave clarity. Before, you might have thought life was about following the crowd. You consumed the way they consumed. You entertained yourself the way they entertained themselves. You complained the way they complained. But one day you find that this whole thing makes you feel more and more empty. You do not hate others. You just realize you can no longer live this way. You start asking a very simple question. Where are these things actually taking me? If the answer is nowhere, then you will slowly pull away. This step is very important. Most people are not poor in ability. They assume they can only earn a fixed salary. They assume only weekends belong to them. They assume life is about enduring 5 days and then numbing themselves for 2. A person's poverty is often not a lack of money. It is a lack of doubt about the current situation. He has never truly asked, why must I live this way? Once this question appears, the old life begins to loosen. Wealth is not chasing money. It is becoming someone money is willing to draw near to. This may sound abstract, but it is very practical. Money is not a medal of morality. It is not a random gift from above. Money is more like feedback. It flows to those who can create value, solve problems, take responsibility, and deliver consistently over the long term. If you only want money without making yourself more useful, you are just hoping. If you start training skills, organizing your time, improving your judgment, and actively solving problems for others, you are no longer waiting for an opportunity. You are becoming the opportunity. Many people understand wealth as income, but income is only the surface. What truly matters is your judgment, your attention, your credibility, your skills, your patience, and whether you can maintain long-term thinking when others are short-sighted. These things do not look like money, but they are the source of money. Your bank account is only the result. A person's inner structure is the cause. If you want to change the result, you cannot just stare at the result. You must go back to the cause. The second signal that a person is moving toward abundance is this. He begins to respect time. It is not just saying time is important. It is truly feeling uneasy when time is wasted. Before, you might scroll through short videos late into the night and think everyone does it. Now you suddenly stop and ask yourself, what did that last hour actually get me? Once this question starts appearing, your life will change. Time is the fairest and also the cruelest thing. Everyone has 24 hours a day, but what each person turns time into is completely different. Some turn time into exhaustion, complaints, and deeper avoidance. Others turn time into skills, assets, relationships, creations, and freedom, consuming time, selling. These 3 choices create 3 completely different kinds of lives. The difference here is not about working hard or not. It is about whether you see the compound effect behind time. Life is more precisely a compound system. You read a little every day, but your brain does not become smarter instantly. You exercise half an hour every day, but the mirror does not reward you the next day. You write a little, do a little, learn a little every day. The world does not applaud right away, but these things accumulate in invisible places. One day you change, others think you got lucky. It is actually just compounding finally surfacing. So protecting your time is not coldness. It is a form of self-respect. You start saying no more often. You do not go to every gathering. You do not pick up every idle chat. You stop being led around by other people's emotions. You will find that saying no does not ruin your relationships. It actually filters out the people who truly suit you. Someone who cannot respect your time will not respect your future either. Attention is even scarcer than time. At least time resets each day. But once your attention is shattered, your whole being falls apart. The biggest business in the modern world is competing for your attention. Every app, every notification, every trending topic wants to take a little space from your mind. You think you are just casually browsing. In fact, you are giving away your most precious asset. Only those who can control their attention have the chance to control their lives. What you pay attention to, you become. If you stare at others showing off all day, you will live in comparison. If you watch arguments all day, your heart will become coarse. If you consume fragmented stimulation all day, you will find it very hard to endure deep work. Conversely, if you place your attention on skills, products, thinking, health, and long-term relationships, your life will slowly become quiet but also powerful. Focus is a form of leverage. Many people think of leverage as only capital, code, media, or teams. But the most fundamental leverage is focus. A scattered mind cannot seize an opportunity, even when it is right in front of him. A focused mind, even starting from very little, will slowly concentrate resources into a single force. Water spread out only wets the ground. Water focused can cut. When you stop chasing every new opportunity and are willing to dig deep in one direction, you have already distanced yourself from the majority. The biggest problem for modern people is not too few opportunities. It is too many choices. Today you hear e-commerce makes money. Tomorrow you hear content creation makes money. The next day you want to invest in some new concept. The result is that you dabble in everything. You know a little about everything but have truly built nothing. Wealth comes from depth, not from constant switching. You do not need to understand everything. You need to find a field that can carry your long-term accumulation. It can be technology, content, sales, products, investing, or any area where you can continually create value. The key is not how popular it looks. It is whether you can build unique judgment and irreplaceable skills inside it. Many people want freedom but are unwilling to cultivate the abilities freedom requires. Freedom sounds romantic, but it is actually very strict. A person without self-discipline will only become more chaotic if given freedom. A person who cannot manage his emotions will only make more wrong decisions with more choices. A person without judgment will not be able to keep freedom even with money in hand. True freedom is not having no one control you. It is finally having the ability to manage yourself well. So when you start becoming more disciplined, do not see it as a punishment. Discipline is a form of protection. It protects your time, your attention, your body, and your mind from being taken away by short-term desires. True discipline is not gritting your teeth through pain every day. It is clearly knowing what is worth it and what is not. You are not fighting against yourself. You are making decisions for your future self. The third signal that a person is becoming wealthy is this. He begins to think long-term. Before, you might make decisions based only on whether it feels good today. Now you ask, what will this give me in 5 years? This sentence is simple, but it will change your life. Because most people live in the world of instant feedback. They do things that bring immediate happiness, immediate visibility, and immediate rewards. But the things that truly matter almost never give you instant returns. Learning a skill takes time. Building credibility takes time. Cultivating health takes time. Forming a stable income system takes time. Building a personal brand takes time. Anything that can pull you out of difficulty requires you to first endure a period without applause. Many people fail not because they are not smart. It is because they need to prove themselves too quickly. They plant a tree and dig it up the next day to see if roots have grown. Such people will never see a forest. Long-term thinking is not empty words. It is an ability to manage emotions. You must be able to endure today's anxiety without destroying tomorrow's compounding. You must be able to endure others' ridicule without changing direction for short-term face. You must be able to resist temptation without trading future seeds for today's candy. The more you can delay gratification, the more real strength you can accumulate. Wealth is not just earning more money, it is seeing what you can keep. Many people have decent incomes but are never free, because their desires grow faster than their income. The moment they earn a little, they want to buy more expensive things to prove themselves. A bigger house, a more expensive car, fancier places. On the surface, they appear richer. In reality, they have just traded one form of anxiety for a more respectable one. True freedom is not being able to buy more, it is needing less. A person who wants everything is the easiest to manipulate. Others tempt him with status, hold him hostage with face, torment him with comparison. The more money he earns, the heavier the chains may become. In contrast, the person who knows what he truly needs becomes very hard to control. He can earn money without worshipping it. He can enjoy life without being dragged away by pleasure. He can own things without letting things own him. When you understand this, money changes from a master into a tool. The function of money is not to turn you into someone else. It is to amplify who you already are. If you are chaotic inside, money will amplify the chaos. If you are greedy, money will amplify the greed. If you are clear, stable, and creative, money will amplify your freedom and your impact. So before pursuing wealth, what is more important is to train yourself into a person who can use wealth correctly. Many people ask how to earn more money. I usually rephrase the question, what scarce value can you provide to the world? What specific problems can you solve? Do you have an ability others are willing to pay for continuously? Do you have a way to amplify this ability through leverage? These questions are more useful than how to get rich. Money does not come because you want it. Money comes because you provide value. Hard work is important, but hard work alone is not enough. A person works 16 hours a day very diligently, yet his income still has a ceiling, because he is selling time, and time cannot be replicated infinitely. To truly escape linear income, you must understand leverage. Leverage is not speculation, it is not taking advantage. Leverage is allowing your judgment, skills, and creations to generate impact multiple times. Code is leverage, content is leverage, products are leverage, capital is leverage, teams are leverage, a book can be read by many, a software can be used by many. A piece of quality content can spread repeatedly. A good product can continue serving customers while you rest. The key to wealth is not how many hours you put in. It is whether the value you create can keep flowing without your time being attached. But leverage has a prerequisite. You must first have value. Many people get excited when they hear passive income. They want to skip the stage of actively becoming useful. But the world does not reward hollow leverage. Without judgment, capital leverage will make you lose money faster. Without ability, team leverage will amplify the chaos. Without depth in your content, media leverage will only expose your emptiness. Leverage is not magic. It is only an amplifier. Whatever you are, it amplifies that. So the most important thing in the early stage is not to pretend to be successful. It is to truly become stronger. Read, think, practice. Observe the market, understand human nature, train your expression, polish your product, accumulate credibility. The sooner you put down your pride and start truly learning, the sooner you approach freedom. Face is very expensive. Many people, in order to maintain an image they do not even possess, spend the time and money that should have been used for growth. When a person starts moving toward wealth, another obvious change appears. His language changes. It is not that he starts shouting slogans. It is that he stops habitually negating himself. Before, he would open his mouth and say, "I cannot do it. I have no way. This is just who I am." Now he says, "I do not know how yet, but I can learn. This stage is hard, but I can handle it. I have no results yet, but the system is being built." Language is not superstition. It influences how you interpret it. How you describe yourself is how you shape yourself. A person who repeats failure stories to himself every day will increasingly believe failure is part of his identity. A person who constantly tells himself, "I just have no self-control," will rationalize his indulgence. Conversely, when you start describing yourself with more precise and more powerful language, you are not lying to yourself. You are retraining your brain. You shift your attention from excuses to action, from a victim narrative to responsibility. Responsibility is the foundation of wealth, as long as a person keeps blaming family, environment, society, or luck. He gives his power away. This is not to say external conditions do not matter. They certainly do. Some people indeed start from a harder place. Some paths are indeed less fair. But the more you hand all interpretation to the external, the less able you are to act. The real turning point is when you admit reality may be unfair, but you still choose to take responsibility for your own actions. This is not feel-good talk. It is a very sober strategy. Blame does not compound. Complaints do not create assets. You can acknowledge pain, but do not live in it. You can see injustice, but do not let injustice define you. The most powerful sentence is "it begins with me." Not because everything is your fault, but because only when it begins with you is change even possible. When a person thinks this way, his presence changes. He no longer waits for permission from others. He no longer waits for the perfect timing. He no longer waits for his mood to improve before acting. He starts moving first. Write a page first. Exercise for half an hour first. Make a phone call first. Build a sample first. Publish once first. Save a sum of money first. Action creates clarity. Many people delay because they want to figure everything out. But if you do not act, you can never truly figure it out. The brain needs real feedback, not just plans. Execution is more reliable than inspiration. Inspiration is like the weather. Sometimes it comes and sometimes it does not. A system is like a foundation. It is there no matter the weather. You cannot hand your life over to emotions because emotions are too unstable. Today, you are fired up. Tomorrow, you want to quit. What truly changes a destiny is a system, a fixed study time, a fixed exercise habit, a fixed output rhythm, a fixed way of reviewing, a fixed discipline of saving and investing. Goals make you excited. Systems get you there. Many people set goals every year, but their lives do not change because they do not change their daily systems. You say you want to get healthy, but your home is full of junk food. You say you want to learn, but your phone is always right next to you. You say you want to start a business, but you have no fixed time each day to study customers. You say you want to write, but you never schedule an undisturbed output session. Goals without a system are just advanced packaging for wishes. The benefit of a system is that you do not need to make a new decision every day. When you turn important things into default processes, you reduce the internal struggle with yourself. Exercising first thing in the morning is not because you feel like it every day. It is because it is already part of the system. Reading 20 minutes a day is not because you are excited every time. It is because you know this action will change your judgment over the long term. Truly strong people are not those with explosive willpower every day. They are those who design the right behaviors to happen more easily. Environment is also very important. The environment you are in quietly shapes you. If everyone around you is complaining, it is hard to stay constructive. If everyone around you wastes time, it is hard to treasure time. If everyone around you proves value through consumption, it is hard to build inner standards. This is not about looking down on anyone. It is about honestly seeing that whatever you are close to, you will be influenced by. Your circle is not a status decoration. It is an energy system. You do not need to know many people. You need to get close to those who make you more clear, more courageous, more honest, and more willing to act. A good circle may not be glamorous, but it has a shared quality. People talk about problems, methods, and long-term building, rather than indulging in gossip, comparison, and endless drain. You do not have to be the smartest person in the room. Much of the time, you just need to enter a room where people think more seriously. Your standards will be raised. A person must also learn to subtract in relationships. When we are young, we think more friends are better. It seems like liveliness equals being accepted. Later you discover what truly matters is a few deep relationships. People who can communicate honestly with you, remind you, and grow together are far more precious than a group that only consumes time together. The bigger your future, the clearer your circle should be. It is not narrowness, it is focus. Another critical signal is that you begin to stop fearing solitude. Many people are afraid of being alone because silence forces them to face themselves. They have to turn on music, videos, or chat windows to fill the room with noise. But a person who cannot be alone can hardly think genuinely. Most of his thoughts are echoes of others. Most of his desires are stuffed into him by the outside world. Solitude is not being antisocial. It is a repair shop for a person. In solitude, you sort out your desires, observe your emotions, review your choices, and refine your judgment. Many truly important decisions are not made in noise. They become clear slowly in quietness. You need a stretch of undisturbed time to ask yourself, what do I truly want? Are the things I am doing right now actually taking me there? If I continue like this for 5 years, will I thank my current self or regret it? These questions are uncomfortable, but they are very valuable. There are 2 kinds of pain: pain from avoidance and pain from growth. The pain of avoidance grows heavier and heavier. The pain of growth slowly turns into strength. The problems you refuse to face today may come back to you with a much bigger cost in the future. So the earlier you are honest, the earlier you are free. People truly on the upward path are not without difficulties. It is that their interpretation of difficulties has changed. Before, facing an obstacle felt like fate was targeting them. Now when they face a problem, they ask, what is this here to teach me? What weakness did this expose? What ability do I need to build up? This way of interpreting shifts you from a victim to a learner. Pain itself is not worthy of worship. Much suffering is meaningless and should be avoided if possible. But when pain has already happened, the wisest move is not to waste it. You can extract information from failure, train patience from delay, calibrate direction from rejection, and understand risk from loss. Every blow can become teaching material if you are willing to learn. Wealth requires a container. That container is your character, habits, judgment, and emotional stability. Many people suddenly gain money and quickly lose it. It is not because the money betrayed them, it is because their container was too small. When pressure comes, they act impulsively. When desire comes, they lose control. When opportunity comes, they become inflated. When failure comes, they collapse. Such a structure cannot carry much. So before money truly increases, life often trains you first. It trains you to be punctual. It trains you to keep your word. It trains you to do what needs to be done even when no one is watching. It trains you to still fulfill commitments when you are exhausted. It trains you to stay clear-headed in front of temptation. These things do not look like earning money, but they determine whether you can keep wealth over the long term. Credibility is invisible capital. Others are willing to cooperate with you, not just because you are smart. It is because you are steady and reliable. Doing what you say is a very plain but very rare quality. Many people make many promises to the outside world but often betray themselves inside. They say they will wake up early and give up the next day. They say they will learn and stop after 3 days. They say they will save money but place an order at a discount. Every time you fail to keep a promise to yourself, your inner trust decreases. You believe in yourself less and less. Conversely, every time you fulfill a small promise, you are building self-esteem. Self-esteem is not built by others praising you. It is built by yourself keeping your word. You know you have not deceived yourself. You know you did not give up even in the dark. You know you are becoming a more reliable person little by little. This feeling is very quiet but very powerful. It will make you crave external validation much less, because you start to have an inner I know what I am doing. When a person no longer depends on applause, he is already half free. Many people do things not for value but to be seen. No likes and they feel down. No recognition and they doubt themselves. Someone is faster and they get anxious. Such people are forever led by the outside. A truly stable person continues working without feedback, because he is not driven by applause. He is driven by principles. Principles are an inner operating system. You know what to do and what not to do. You know which money cannot be earned, which opportunities cannot be touched, which relationships cannot be maintained, which desires cannot be fed. A person without principles will be deformed by temptation. The further you want to go, the more you need simple and clear principles. In a complex world, simple principles can protect you. Many people imagine success too dramatically, as if one day you suddenly explode and your life completely changes. Reality is not like that. Most truly reliable success is built by a pile of unremarkable small actions. Sleeping on time, Regular exercise, speaking less nonsense, reviewing more, consistently outputting, studying seriously, controlling spending, staying away from draining relationships, managing emotions, staying curious. These things sound ordinary, but they will change the trajectory of your life. You do not need a big victory every day. You just need to lose a little less and win a little more each day. One less meaningless argument, one more deep thinking. One less impulse purchase, one more long-term investment. One less session of numbing scrolling, one more focused output. One less complaint about fate, one more organized action. Small victories accumulate into momentum. Once momentum forms, opportunities are more easily drawn to you. The concept of momentum is more important than speed. Speed might be a burst of impulse. Momentum is a sense of direction after sustained accumulation. Many people run very fast but in chaotic directions. In the end, they just arrive at the wrong place faster. You do not need to be fast at the beginning. You need to move steadily in the right direction. When wheel direction, habits, environment, and action start to align, you will feel an inner propulsion. You no longer fight with yourself every day. Life starts to cooperate with you. This is alignment. Alignment is not something mysterious. It is when what you want and what you do start becoming more and more consistent. You say you want health, and your behavior starts to become healthy. You say you want freedom, and your time arrangement starts serving that freedom. You say you want abundance, and your spending and learning start to match long-term abundance. The most painful state for a person is inner division, saying you want to change with your mouth while your actions maintain the old life. When you start reducing this division, energy returns. You stop spending huge amounts of strength on self-deception, self-justification, and self-draining. You start becoming simple. Simplicity is not shallowness. Simplicity is clarity. You know what you want and you know the price. You are willing to pay the price, so you no longer need to persuade yourself every day. True maturity is no longer asking if there is an easier path. It is asking whether this path is worth it. If it is, go. If it is not, no matter how easy it is, do not waste time. Many people spend their lives searching for ease. But ease is not the goal. Worth is the goal. Some things are hard, but some things feel great, but they make you weaker. You must learn to distinguish. The same applies to work. Many people, when talking about wealth, want to escape work. They fantasize about having passive income immediately, but they overlook one fact. Before you are truly valuable, passive income is just an illusion. You need to actively create value, actively understand the market, actively sharpen your skills, and actively take responsibility. Passive income is not a reward for escaping work. It is the fruit that naturally comes after you have created value over a long time. Do not hate work. Be wary of meaningless consumption. Good work trains you, gives you feedback, and makes you face real problems. You can dislike a specific job, but do not cultivate a mentality of avoiding labor, because creating wealth is essentially solving problems. Solving problems requires seriousness, patience, and repeated refinement. You must find your own specific knowledge. Specific knowledge is not the kind of knowledge that can be measured by school exams. It is an ability that combines your interests, personality, experience, and observation. It is often impossible to replicate. You might be good at understanding users, good at explaining complex concepts clearly, good at writing code, good at spotting trends, good at negotiation, good at designing systems, good at connecting resources. Find it and keep polishing it. When your specific knowledge meets leverage, wealth accelerates. Only imitating others makes it hard to reach the top, because imitators can only follow others. You can learn from others, but in the end you must return to yourself. Where is your edge? Your curiosity will naturally lead you to study areas others find tiring. There lies your opportunity. Do not rush to package yourself as an expert. First, be a serious learner. The world is very friendly to truly useful people, but it is increasingly cruel to those who only know how to package. Packaging can trick attention. Only real value can earn trust. Attention can be bought. Trust can only be earned. A major foundation of wealth is trust. When others trust that you will deliver, trust that you will not easily disappear, Trust that you can keep improving. Trust that you speak with measure and act with results. Your opportunities will multiply. Many good opportunities do not flow in the open market. They flow through networks of trust. Others think of you when a project comes up. They recommend you when they encounter a problem. They put you on the list when they need a reliable person. Trust builds slowly but is easily destroyed. Do not break long-term credibility for small gains. Do not exaggerate your ability. Do not easily promise what you cannot do. Do not replace honesty with cunning. Cleverness without character eventually becomes dangerous. True wisdom is deeply understanding benefits while still holding your bottom line. You will gradually discover that wealth is not an isolated goal. It forces you to upgrade as a whole. You must manage your body. Without energy, there is no creativity. Manage your emotions. Impulse destroys judgment. Manage your relationships. Wrong people drain you dry. Manage your language. Language shapes identity. Manage your time. Time is the raw material of all results. Manage your desires. Uncontrolled desire devours freedom. The cultivation of wealth in the end is like a kind of spiritual practice. It is not to make you greedier. On the contrary, it lets you see what is truly worth it. In the Buddhist teachings, suffering comes from attachment. If you are attached to face, you are tormented by face. Attached to comparison, tormented by comparison. Attached to controlling others, tormented by others. Attached to succeeding immediately, tormented by time. If wealth only fuels attachment, it will not give you freedom. It will only give you a larger cage. True abundance is outer choice and inner peace. With only outer choice and no inner peace, you are a slave to desire. With only inner peace and no ability to act, you might mistake powerlessness for detachment. Both must be combined. Clear action, quiet accumulation. Neither dragged by results nor escaping real responsibility. Ambition is fine, but it must be clean. Clean ambition is not about overpowering others. It is about unleashing your own potential, creating more value, having more freedom, and making those around you better. Dirty ambition is built on comparison, jealousy, and proving yourself. It will never be satisfied because the reference is always external. Clean ambition comes from inner standards. You are not trying to beat anyone. You just do not want to waste your life. A person with this kind of ambition does not show off. He is more focused on whether he did what he should do today. He knows real power does not rely on declarations. It relies on accumulation. The more seriously you do your work, the less misunderstanding there is. You do not need to prove yourself to everyone. Many people will not understand anyway. Do not be afraid that no one sees. A seed buried in soil is silent, but it will eventually sprout. Much important growth happens in the dark. The books you read, the notes you write, the skills you practice, the temptations you refuse, the impulses you restrain, the small promises you fulfill. These are all nutrients forming the new you. By the time others see the results, you have already grown much. What you truly need to do is not to make everyone believe you are successful. It is to step by step approach the successful version of yourself. Others' approval is not that important. Your own actions are. You do not owe the world an explanation. You owe yourself the fulfillment. Maybe years later looking back, the biggest change is that one day you finally stopped shortchanging yourself, treating time, body, money, promises, and your heart seriously. That day there were no fireworks or applause, but you had already started changing your destiny. If these words touched you today, please write in the comment section. What do you most need to adjust right now? Time, attention, circle, consumption, or your promises to yourself? Writing it down is itself a form of facing it. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Leave it for your future self. Because when you seriously build yourself, wealth is already on its way. I am Zen Seeker Wu. Thank you for listening. See you in the next video.